worthwhile risk for this type of player because he is without a doubt a game changer. I was a DC, and the pressure he puts on a defense is really hard to measure. It's hard to prepare for. Close quote. So, Marcellus, is Lamar Jackson a $40 million a year QB?
At least a $40 million a year QB. Absolutely. Golly, you know I love this dude. You know I can go there all day and wax poetic about how great Lamar Jackson is. And I'm going to do some of that right now. But it's so many ways to attack this. I keep talking about how there's only 2 of Lamar Jacksons in the world, and obviously he's one as a unanimous MVP. So you got to pay that guy accordingly. You got to respect what he's earned. It's not about giving what Lamar Jackson wants. It's about what he's earned. And what he's earned is over $40 million a year. So let's go to our classic example of Beverly Hills adjacent living Acho. Okay, because if you live in Beverly Hills, you have a jacket on today. But you live in Beverly Hills adjacent, and that's how you come out the house. Okay. Lamar Jackson really has no competition to talk about. Okay, everybody gonna say Patrick Mahomes. Okay, duh. That's not even competition. That's out of the stratosphere. That's like saying, oh, yeah, I got to race Usain Bolt. It's like, nah, just race for second. This is really a race for second. Who's gonna be the second highest paid quarterback, correct? So now, let's use some comps to attack this. There's a Dak Prescott who just got $40 million, and there's a Deshaun Watson right under there at $39 million. You really want to do this? Because we know that Deshaun Watson has to be the floor for when you're talking about how much you're going to pay Lamar Jackson. Forget the floor, the basement. Let's go to the East Coast. The basement, because there's no way you could pay him less than $39 million. Because look at Deshaun Watson versus look at Lamar Jackson. Deshaun's only 2 games over 500. What the hell? 29 and 27 for his career. Don't look at me like that, because Deshaun, your boy. Lamar is 31 and 10. So we know what the basement is. 31 and 10 versus 29 and 27. Now, everybody gonna say, it's different situations, different teams. Duh. So let's do this. What's been your impact? What has been your significant impact to your situation? The Ravens, let's go 3 years before they both got there. The Ravens, 22 wins, no playoff appearances in the 3 years before Lamar Jackson. What about the Texans? 27 wins, not that much better, but 2 playoff appearances. Wait a minute. And Lamar went to a worse situation and had that kind of impact on it than a Deshaun Watson? So if Deshaun is 39, we know what you got to be. Now let's talk about Dak. I love me some Dak too. But Dak, in the playoffs, kind of like Lamar. However, when you talk about, do you have an MVP? Do you have a unanimous MVP? Is everything based on you, or is this combination between your receiving core, Ezekiel Elliott, what the O-line does, et cetera, and allowing you to grow? No. So Lamar Jackson has just looked at the comps, the competition, really. Dak, Deshaun, pat. Y'all both get out the way. Lamar's going to make at least what Deshaun made, at least what Dak made. That's 40+ million.
That is fair. But, Sel, when you think about a question simply, you will get a simple answer. You're thinking about this question very simply. Is Lamar Jackson a $40 million a year quarterback? Well, duh. If you compare him to what the market currently dictates that you pay for quarterbacks, of course he is. Yeah, Lamar Jackson is a better quarterback than Dak Prescott by all metrics. So, yes, he is. Lamar Jackson's a better quarterback than Deshaun Watson by many metrics. So, yes, duh.
All right.
But, Sal, when you think about things more complex, because life is more complex, right? At least if you want to succeed in this life, you can't think about things so simply. I think about complexities. If you're paying a quarterback $40 million a year, I want a Super Bowl, and I don't want you to be a limiting reactant for me receiving a Super Bowl. I'm going to go somewhere, and I will arrive back. We can go to the airport, since I just told y'all I'm going to take y'all somewhere. If you go to the airport, Marcellus Wiley, and you're buying, and you see an 8-ounce bottle of water for $3.75, well, then the 20-ounce bottle of water, if it's only $4, yes, it's worth it. Of course.
Yes.
But the real issue at hand is that the 8-ounce bottle of water was never worth $3.75. The airport's already charging too much for the 8-ounce. So if you're going to ask me an isolated question, well, Emmanuel Acho is a 20-ounce worth $4? Yeah, compared to the 8-ounce. But the problem is they overpricing for bottles of water. The problem is, Dak Prescott, to me, philosophically, if you're talking $40 million, there are only 3 to 4 quarterbacks that's worth $40 million. Because if I'm paying you $40 million, I don't want you to be a limiting reactant for a Super Bowl. So who are the 4? Patrick Mahomes, He's not a limiting reactant for his team's success. Aaron Rodgers, he's not a limiting reactant for his team's success. Tom Brady, he's not a limiting reactant for his team's success. And I would submit, but I won't argue about Russell Wilson. Now, you might say, well, Russell Wilson went 11 for 28 or whatnot in the playoffs, 40% completion percentage. That's why I said I will not argue that. But if I'm paying you $40 million a year, I want you to win me a Super Bowl. And if you don't, just don't be the limiting reactant for my success. The Ravens lost to your Bills in the playoffs by 14 points. Lamar Jackson threw a 100-yard pick six, 14-point swing. The Ravens in the first playoff loss, Lamar Jackson's rookie year. Where'd Lamar Jackson go? The Ravens in the playoff loss last year, Lamar Jackson's sophomore season. What's the deal? Because Lamar Jackson in the playoffs, Marcellus Wiley versus Lamar Jackson in the regular season, and y'all got the full screen, so y'all look at the numbers. What's really good? Regular season, 64% completion percentage. Playoffs, 56. Regular season passer rating, 102. Playoffs, 66. As I look at it, Lamar Jackson, come playoff time, you could argue that he's a limiting reactant for his team's success, meaning it's Lamar Jackson that's stopping them from succeeding. The last thing I'm going to say is this.
Wow.
The way I look at the philosophy is if I'm going to pay you a ton of money, I'm not paying you a ton of money to sell tickets. I'm not paying you a ton of money to win individual rewards. I'm paying you a ton of money to win it all. Like, I vehemently disagree with the fact that Russell Westbrook has been a multi-million-dollar supermax dude. Russell Westbrook, he's one of the best, most talented players. But I'm like, yo, is he finna win a chip? No.
Don't do that.
I'm not doing that to Lamar right now.
3-1,
I'm not doing that to Lamar right now. What I'm saying is this, Sal. Are you paying a guy because the market dictates his value? Sure. Lamar is clearly worth it if Dak is worth 40. But my issue at hand is this. I don't think Dak is worth 40. I don't think Carson Wentz was worth what he got paid. I don't think Jared Goff was worth what he got paid. And I think the Eagles, I think the Rams currently, I think the Niners with Jimmy G, I think the Vikings with Kirk Cousins, I think several teams would agree with me about several quarterbacks. So I say that, yes, Lamar Jackson is worth it compared to some cats. But the real question is, have we been overpaying all along?
Boy, talking about throwing them curveballs, boy. I love coming up to plate with you because I don't know what's coming. Whoa! A little inside there, big dog. You know, I'm pretty pumped on this one right now. You gave me something to think about. I love you. I love you. I love you. But maybe you're overthinking it because you talked about complexities. And I like, first of all, when you're at the airport, just take your take your laptop, take your phone, plug in, listen to a podcast. Stop over there having a complexity conversation mentally and the philosophy of water at the airport store. That's what you're in there doing, and that's the problem with you. You said a sentence, Mark. I have a problem that, no, you said these guys are getting paid just because the market dictates their value. Yes, that's literally all you get paid. Like, I understand you have a frustration with that. I understand you have a problem with that. You had a problem, obviously, with your tailor with that. And you're like, I'm not paying that much for the jacket. And then look at you. You come in looking like that. I can't believe I got a co-host. I have a friend who says that since all these other teams are doing the wrong thing, let's not do the right thing. Oh, wait a minute. You didn't think I was going to flip it that way. They did the wrong